Welcome back to Play the Game HQ. I'm Daniel, and in this video, we're going to teach you how to play DaDaDa, the game that's nonsense until it makes sense, from the op, who helped sponsor this video. DaDaDa is a cooperative party game where you'll be using sounds and pictures to create an entirely new language, and then using that language to lead your teammates to a specific image. The game ends when everyone has been the clue giver or when you fail to select the right image twice. The trick is that once it starts, you're not able to use any actual language at all. You can only use the new language that happens to consist of only 5 sounds. To set up the game, shuffle the sound deck and draw 5 cards, then put the rest of the sound cards back in the box. Flip over your first 2 sound cards and say them aloud so that everyone is pronouncing them the same way. So here we have ga and ti. Then shuffle the image cards and lay out 13 of them in the middle of the table without describing them or commenting on them in any way. Next, you're going to use these pictures and these sounds to create your language, and from this point on, you can only use sounds that come from the sound cards. Hand motions do happen naturally, but this isn't charades, so keep those to a minimum. You can also nod and shake your hands and use thumb up or thumb down to communicate yes or no. So first, you're going to sort the pictures as best you can using those 2 cards. So T might go up here for obvious reasons. And then these are kind of in the same category, so we can move these over to ga, and this fits in that category as well. And now I'm still using English because this would be a very weird tutorial if I didn't, but you aren't allowed to use any real language while you do this. You can only use the sounds on the cards. You do have access to all 5 of these cards, so once you feel like those 2 cards aren't enough, flip over another, and you'll probably end up using all 5, but you might get to a place where you feel like less than that is good enough to communicate all of the pictures that you have and to create your language. As you sort the cards, you're going to be finding common attributes that you can match up with these different sounds. So these are both animals, so we can assign those to wa. These are similar, so we can put these over here with zoo. And then this one could go with T, but it could also go with ga, so we're going to put it in the middle. So you are allowed to combine sounds as long as you're only sticking to these sounds. So we can call this a T ga because it fits in T and in ga. And these fit in this category of zoo, but they also kind of fit in ga. So these would be a zoo ga. So we have T, we have ga, we have some that fits in T-ga, we have a couple things in Zoo-ga, we have a couple of Vos, a couple of Was, and a couple of just Zoos. You can arrange the cards however you need to build a language that you and the other players at least think you understand. And after about 5 minutes, you should have a table that looks something like this, and you're ready to move on to the next part of the game where you get to actually use this new language that you've created. Now feel free to pause and see if you can kind of figure out what I was thinking as I arranged these and what all of these different words and sounds mean to me. Once you're ready to move on, still not using any actual language, pick someone to be the first communicator. As the communicator, you're going to draw 1 card from the deck without anyone else seeing it, and this is your target card. Then draw 5 more cards and shuffle those with your target card. Lay out all 6 of these cards face up and use your new language to tell your teammates what your card is. This could be 1 sound or a combination of sounds, but you can only use these sounds. So for my target card, I'm going to say it's a Vo-Zoo. Then the other players are going to freely discuss only in your new language what they think the target card is, and the communicator isn't allowed to speak again or react at all during this process. And feel free to pause here and see if you can figure out which of these 6 cards I think is a Vo-Zoo. Once everyone agrees on a card, point to it and let the communicator know that that's your guess, and hopefully you guessed the chair. If you're correct, add that card to your defined picture pile, and if you get it wrong, add it to your say what pile. Then discard the rest of the communicator's image cards, and the next player clockwise is the new communicator. After everyone has had a chance to be the communicator, or when you get 2 cards wrong, the game ends and you can use your actual language again, and you can talk to the other players about what each word meant to them. You might be surprised at which ones you were exactly on the same page with and which ones you had a completely different concept for but were still able to communicate with. So for me, Vo meant household items like a flashlight and a coffee mug. Wa was obviously living things. T was clothing items for me. Ga was sports items, and a tennis shoe is both clothing and can be a sports item, so I made that a T-ga. Zoo was vehicles or things that you ride on. So a boat and a car are exclusively zoo, but a bike and a skateboard were zoo-ga. They kind of fit into both categories. And that's why I picked Vo-Zoo for the chair, because you do sit on it, so it's kind of a zoo. And it's also a Vo because it's a household item, and you have to make sure that you pick words that are specific enough that you don't mix things up. A candlestick could have been, if I had just gone with vo as a household item, you might have chosen the candlestick. So it's your job to pick the word or combination of words that is most likely to lead your teammates to your target picture. If you want to keep score, you can subtract your missed cards from your correct cards and use the table in the back of the book to get your score. But no matter what your score, congratulations, because you just created a new language. And that's DaDaDa. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment and we'll answer as quick as we can. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.